This is a functional movement assessment brought to you by the Titleist Performance Institute. This assessment can be used for golfers as well as any other rotary athlete to increase sport performance. You're about to witness a video of an athlete's assessment. The next video you will see corrective exercises for that athlete. This is the pelvic tilt test. You're going to have your golfer go in the 5-iron position. You want to assess their starting posture, whether it's a C or S posture. Matt is in a neutral posture here. Then what you're going to have them do, go into an anterior pelvic tilt, followed by a posterior pelvic tilt. Looking for quality of movement and amount of movement. Now from this test, Matt doesn't seem to have any issues with that. We're going to go into a pelvic rotation test, again assuming the 5-iron position. What you're looking for is just rotation at the pelvis, left and right. Matt's limited a little bit going to the right, so what you're going to do is stabilize the shoulders and see if you have any improvements, and he does improve a little bit going to the right with stability. Then the next test, again in the 5-iron position, arms crossed, torso rotation. It's going to rotate just the torso. Hips and legs should stay still. And it's a little limited going to the left, so we're going to stabilize his hips and see if that rotation improves. And it does improve with stability. This next test is the toe touch test. Patient will stand with legs together, try to reach up and touch down to their toes without bending the legs. If they can't do this test, you'll do it with one leg, toes at the heel, reaching down, and then switch to the other leg. Matt's good at that. So then the next test is single leg balance. So just standing on one leg, hip at 90 degrees. We want to do this with eyes closed. We're looking for 16 to 20 seconds as the PGA norm. And then once they lose their balance with that, we can switch to the other leg and test that leg.
You know when they put it on a disc? Yeah. Their view is broke down. They got a good MRI.
Yeah. So then the next test is the lower quarter rotation test. Stand with a club on the PSIS. You're going to stand on one leg, and you're going to rotate out. We're looking for 60 degrees of rotation. So Matt's got that, and then we're going to rotate in. Internal rotation, looking for 60 degrees, which he has too. Then we're going to switch to the other leg. Rotate in, and then back out the other way, looking for 60 degrees each way. Okay, it's good with those. So next we're going to do an overhead deep squat. So standing with legs shoulder width apart, club in the hands, parallel with the ears. You're going to have the patient squat down and come back up. And what you're looking for is the torso to come forward, or if the arms come forward at all too. So you want that to be torso symmetrical with the tibia, and the arms should stay even with the ears. Okay, now if you have any issues with this test, you can go into a lat length test. So you're standing in a seated position against the wall, back tight against the wall, lifting the arms up, and you're looking at how close they can get to the wall. PGA norm would be for them to actually be able to reach the wall. Okay, and then next, we're going to look at dorsiflexion test. This is another breakout of the overhead deep squat. So what we're going to do is 5 inches from the wall, place a piece of tape, have the patient put their toes there, and they're trying to lean forward so that their knee can touch the wall without the heel coming up. So Matt's heel comes up a little bit on the left, and a little bit on the right too. Okay, now coming from that test, we're going to go into a 90-90 test to test external rotation of the shoulders. So I'm going to have the patient just standing straight up, and you're trying to rotate the arms. And you're looking for if they're even with the spine, past the spine, or in front of the spine. So his right looks about even, and his left also even. Now have them assume the 5-iron position and retest. So even with the spine, the plane of the spine, and on the left, a little bit less than the plane of the spine. This test is a seated trunk rotation test. You have the patient sitting in a chair, bring the club behind the head, into the neck. You want to have them rotate to the right. We're looking for 45 degrees, and rotate to the left. And then the next part of this test, holding the club in front of the body, doing the same thing. Rotate to the right. Again, looking for 45. He gets a little more motion with the club in front. And to the left, he also gets more motion doing that. Now going from the seated trunk rotation, going to bridging with leg extension. So we're going to have the patient bridge up, walk the feet underneath the knees, and we're going to do a single leg extension. And what you're looking for, you don't want the hips to sag. You're looking for any shaking, because that would be cramping of the hamstring. Just looking for them to hold that for about 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, you have them switch and do the other leg. Again, looking for the hips to sag or any shaking or cramping of the hamstrings. And that seems to be good at that too.